In September of 1944, the residents of a quiet Illinois town began waking up paralyzed and choking on a sweet, sickening gas drifting through their bedroom windows. But while the police launched a massive manhunt for a chemical predator, the military quietly feared this was the first wave of a secret domestic weapon strike. The terror began on a warm late summer night in Mattoon, a manufacturing hub deeply tense from the ongoing pressures of World War II. A young mother named Aline Kearney was lying in bed when she smelled an overpowering, sickly sweet odor that made her throat burn. As she tried to stand, she realized her legs were completely numb and useless, freezing her in place as panic set in. Her husband, returning home late from work, spotted a tall, shadowy figure lurking right outside their bedroom window. By the time the police arrived, the intruder had vanished into the shadows, leaving no physical evidence behind. Knuckles white, the officers searched the dark lawn with torches. Local newspapers immediately splashed the story across their front pages, coining a name that would freeze the blood of every resident, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon. But this was not an isolated incident, and within 24 hours, the gas attacks began to multiply rapidly across the town. Another local resident reported waking up to a blue mist filling her room, followed by an immediate wave of nausea and temporary paralysis. Yet when doctors rushed to examine these victims, they found no trace of poison in their blood and no lingering chemical residue in the air. As the days bled together, the entire community of Mattoon plunged into a state of total, armed paranoia. Citizens refused to sleep, instead sitting on their porches with loaded shotguns, waiting for the slightest movement in the shadows. But here is the twist. Every single description of the attacker was wildly different, suggesting they were hunting a phantom. Some claimed the gasser was a tall, lean man dressed in tight black clothing, while others swore it was a woman disguised as a man. The weapon itself seemed physically impossible, a device that could silently spray gas through a window screen without breaking the glass. With the town on the brink of absolute chaos, the local police chief made a desperate decision to call in the state authorities. The Illinois State Police arrived in force, setting up roadblocks and patrolling the quiet residential streets with searchlights. They treated the case as a potential act of wartime sabotage, fearing a foreign agent was testing a new chemical agent on American soil. Because of this, the FBI secretly opened an investigation, quietly monitoring the situation for links to industrial espionage or biological warfare. But as the experts analyzed the reports, they noticed a deeply unsettling pattern emerging from the data. The vast majority of the victims were women, many of whom had husbands away fighting in the war. And that is the part of the mystery that points to a much deeper psychological horror than a physical attacker. The physical symptoms reported, the numb legs, the difficulty breathing, and the sudden nausea, are the exact textbook signs of acute hyperventilation. The sweet smell reported by the victims was easily traced back to common local industrial plants that ran 24 hours a day for the war effort. Under the crushing weight of wartime stress, isolation, and sleep deprivation, the smell of normal factory discharge was transformed into a deadly poison. Once the first story hit the newspapers, the psychological contagion spread through the community like wildfire. Every creaking floorboard became an intruder, and every unfamiliar smell became a chemical attack. But the police could not simply tell the terrified public that the monster was entirely in their own minds. Instead, the local police chief declared a strict local curfew and ordered all residents to stay indoors after dark. They also strictly controlled the local press, urging editors to downplay the sensational headlines that were feeding the panic. Almost immediately after the sensational news stories stopped appearing, the mysterious gas attacks abruptly ceased. No suspect was ever arrested, no chemical apparatus was ever found, and no physical clues were ever recovered. The Mad Gasser of Mattoon evaporated back into the dark night air from which he had allegedly materialized. Skeptics and psychologists now point to this event as one of the most classic, documented cases of mass hysteria in modern American history. It proved that under the right conditions, the human mind can fabricate physical symptoms so real they can paralyze an entire town. Yet to this day, a few surviving residents maintain that something real and malicious, was indeed stalking those dark streets in 1944. Whether the threat was a flesh-and-blood predator or a collective trick of the mind, the true terror of Mattoon lies in how easily our fears can be weaponized against us.